Say hi to everybody. Let me know if you can't hear me. I'm going to wait 1 or 2 minutes for other people to show up. And yeah. Hi, guys. How's everybody doing? Yay. Let's see if it shows me the chat. Hi, Tony. Make sure my volume's up. Okay. This is good. This is good practice for me. You can obviously tell that I'm still getting used to this, so bear with me as I learn what I'm doing. Hey, hi everyone. Thanks, Brandon. Okay. Nope. Let's do that. There we go. Hi! More people. Yay! I'm excited. Alright. I think I've got it set so I can see. Alright, I'm going to wait like 1 more minute, then we'll get started officially. Okay. All right, so officially we'll get started. So, hi, some of you know me. I'm assuming most of you know me, but some of you don't. So, official introductions. My name is Emily, also known as a Swan named Emily. So if you end up liking what I'm doing here or want to follow me anywhere else, you can pretty much find me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Twitch, all of them at a Swan named Emily. So I'm excited. This is obviously my first test run for this, so I apologize in advance if it's a little bit hinky, but we're going to get through it, and it's fine. So I want to first off, thank 171 for letting me do this and letting me connect with my students. I really miss everyone out there, and I miss teaching, so I'm hoping that this could be a nice way to still be able to reach out to you guys and get to teach. And if you like this content, please let 171 know so that we can keep scheduling these things and check out what else they have to offer, because there's amazing stuff happening and they're offering a ton of really cool, diverse classes. And even though we can't have the actual building open, they're still really trying to work out ways to get the art out into the community, which is what 171 is great for. So, and again, obviously I'm a big fan. I have been participating in class and events and learning and dancing there for over 25 years. So I love them and I will continue to support them for however long this takes, and hopefully we can get back to normal at some point. So also, in an optimistic outlook, if you're looking for classes coming up in the summer when hopefully we've been released from quarantine and we can see other humans again, 171 is putting their summer camps up on their website. There are camps available for youth all the way up to teens and a lot of different things that they are offering. So definitely check those out. I will be teaching some of those. I don't totally know all of that yet as we're still in the planning phases, but I definitely will be teaching some art classes and some digital art classes now that we have some fun new toys to play with. So that's definitely going to be something fun to check out. So specifically to this thing that you tuned in for today, we are working on flip books. So flip books can be made from anything that lets you flip paper. So I am specifically using index cards today. I'm using these because this is what I had at my house, which is fun. You can pretty much use anything. I know in my post, I also talked about how you could use Post-its. You can use pages in your notebook, depending on if you have to return your school books to the school. Maybe not those because you don't get to keep them, but anything that allows you to flip the paper. And the way we are animating today when it comes to flipbook animation is something called straightforward or straight ahead animation, and that is different than keyframe or pose to pose animation. And there's an interesting distinction between the two. So straightforward animation means you're starting with your first frame and you're animating straight through to the last frame, and you're just doing it one at a time, moving the animation along. Whereas keyframe or pose to pose means that you're actually taking individual poses throughout the action that you're doing. So if you're moving your arm up and over, you're doing a keyframe pose here, a keyframe pose there, and then one to finish. And then you go back in and add something called in-betweens, which makes a lot of sense because they are the drawings that happen in between those keyframes. So with Flipbook, it's very straightforward, which is fun because it allows you to kind of let the animation take you where it's going, but it is also only one way to animate. So if you like doing this, that's great. If it's not kind of your thing, there are other neat ways to animate. And obviously this is specifically done traditionally, so on pencil and paper with flip cards. There are some really neat programs out there that let you do this digitally, and if there are some free ones for tablets, either Mac or PC or Apple or Android. So if you are interested in that, there are other options out there. But getting to what we were doing today, so I worked up one before we started just so you could see. I'm going to try and flip it for you, but I'll flip that again because that was not great. It's hard to flip with this, my non-dominant hand. But something fun. So obviously I spent a little bit more time. You can see how much I animated to get that to go. There, that was a better flip. But what we're actually going to be working on, just us as a class today, is animating a stick figure. So you don't have to be super confident in your drawing, and you can still create something fun and create something moving. So I'm going to move the screen over so you can watch what I'm drawing. I'm also trying to watch the chat, so if I go too fast or if something doesn't make sense or if you can't see something, please pop it up in chat and I'll try and adjust it. Like I said, this is the maiden voyage, so as this progresses, I want to find a better way to set up my station so that you can see the art that I'm creating better and not have it be, so messed up. But so I've got my individual note cards and my binder clip. I like the bigger clip better. It seems to hold them even if I only have a few of the pages. And I know, and this is just something as a heads up, you're going to want to clip the binder clip out towards the edge more because that lets it be a lot easier to actually flip through. So I found if I clip it in a lot farther, the paper doesn't flip quite as well. And so All right, so I'm gonna move you over. Yay! To this is the new section. Oh, and before I get too far into that, I'm going to try to be using our lovely light box, also known as the window. It got very dark and cloudy as I was getting ready to do this, so we'll see. But I also am lucky enough, I have a light table, a light box that my father built for me, and I highly recommend that if you want to get into animation, especially traditional animation, because it makes it really easy. If you don't have a dad who can build that, you can also buy them online. I have a smaller version at 171 right now, and when we can get back into the building, I will have that available. But if you don't have that, I wanted to show you that you could also use the window or any light source beneath the paper so you can see one pose to the next. So, jump you over. Yay! There, hopefully we can see. Kind of see. All right, so like I said, my plan is to have my stick figure wave to you guys. So I'm going to do it. Also, something to keep in mind, wherever you are clipping, obviously I am right-handed, so I'm drawing on the right side of the page, and I will be clipping on the left side. But if you are left-handed, you can switch that, whatever's easiest for you. I'm also going to use a black permanent marker so that you guys can see this a bit easier. I started some of these, I sketched them out in pencil first, so just so that I could have them ready to go, but the black will show up better. So, my very first flip card that I'm going to start with, I am just starting my base position, so this is where my character is going to start. Like I said, I am drawing a stick figure because that is easy. I did give him a little bit of sass, so he's got kind of a little bit of hip hop happening, but you do not have to draw your stick figure with the hip hop. So then the next frame that I'm going to draw, I'm going to keep the body of my character exactly where it was, and because I want him to raise his arm up and wave, I'm only going to be moving what is his right arm. So this is where it's really helpful to have the light behind, because every part of the stick figure that is not moving, I want to make sure that it stays in the same place so that you don't get kind of a wiggle to your animation as you flip through this. So this is one where I would go, let's see, it's gonna be a real trick, see if you can see it, and hold it up so you can kind of see where one frame is versus the other. Put you back down. It's very high tech with my window light table. I am apologizing for how dirty it is. I live on a busy street and we get a lot of road dirt. Okay, so I've got two done. Now I'm moving on to my third one, and you can kind of see just a little bit right now where there is some movement, but because when you are animating, you have to take kind of into account timing. So timing is literally the amount of time it takes for an action to happen. And with this, because he is slowly raising his arm, there are going to be more drawings at the start of this than at the end as he picks up momentum and moves his arm faster. So it's not too exciting here at the start, but it's gonna get pretty exciting as he gets his arm up past. So also important, and you can see me doing this, I am racking my note cards. I'm making sure that they are completely lined up. Again, not only do I have the OCD that forces me to do that, but also you want to make sure that then when you rack them all together, clip them, and go to flip them, one of them isn't off, because again, your character will jump and it will throw off how that looks. All right. Okay. So now we can kind of flip through. So at this point I have 4 drawn. So you can kind of see he's starting. If I can get this to flip. I'm starting to raise his hand. I'm getting. Yay! It's like he's moving. So if you've ever watched behind the scenes for traditional animation, I don't know if you guys are nuts like I am and have watched all of them, but you will frequently see animators, especially with Disney, going back and forth and flipping between their drawings. And essentially what they're doing is they're checking to see how the animation looks. If the character looks like it's moving correctly, if something jumps out at them, because you don't want to draw 150 drawings and then realize that you made a mistake and have to go back and fix all of those. So, like I said, normally I would have my light table here and be working right on it, or putting these up to the window, but because this is the easiest way for me to have you guys be able to see it, I'm not doing that. Okay. All right. So now we've moved past the halfway point, so the arm has bent and we're getting it up almost to shoulder height, which is good. And don't worry, he is still appropriately hip popped while you're doing this, so that has not changed. And the other thing you'll be able to tell is if I was very careful about the size of my stick figure head, which I may or may not have been, so he might get a little wonky there from time to time, but that's okay. And what's fun, and I absolutely recommend, if you ever, obviously, if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me either through Facebook. Like I said, my art page is a swan named Emily, and you can find that. I'll put a link in this event. But also there are some amazing resources online. There's a wonderful YouTuber who I should have looked up the name of and written it down, but I definitely didn't, who does amazing flipbook art, and he has some great pointers, he makes some great videos, but there's a lot of other stuff out there right now, and there are a lot of really great resources for all different types of art. So if you are curious about any of that, and like I said, definitely check out 171. They've got a ton of art and art classes that they are offering right now. Make sure you guys can still see. All right, so let's see. We've gotten it almost all the way up. I flip because I like flipping it the other way. You can see. Yay! Look at that. That's pretty fun. So again, obviously, the consistency in your flips, which I'm glad. My flips are going pretty well right now, which is good because they were not earlier. So I've got it up. What I would like to have my character do now is kind of do a back and forth wave just a little bit and get a little bit more personality. So I'm going to keep going on that. And like I said, let's see if this can... So this is just a good example. Again, I know I keep moving the camera, but so if you can see the difference between the one frame to the next with where it started to where it ended, and the really, really helpful nature of having the light box or the light source behind that. Okay. This is fun. I always think of, flip books or little drawings that I would see in the pages of my school books, and there was always skateboards. I feel like skateboarding and the motion of that lends itself beautifully to animating, and it's just something fun. So definitely keep that in mind, and there are amazing skateboarding videos out on the internet, so you can check those out, although there's some really graphic that just look painful, so maybe not those. But hey, beautiful thing about animation, there is all sorts of animation for pretty much anybody and any interest. So something I mentioned earlier, and I'm going to reiterate again now, because the movement started slowly with my character having his arm down and then raising it up, as it got up towards the top, I drew less drawings in between so that the movement would seem faster. Because he is now only moving his hand a little bit and waving back and forth, I'm adding a few more frames in between so the movement is a little bit smoother. Let's see if I can get he's starting to move it back and forth. And this movement is not going to be as big and obvious as the other movements that we were doing. So it's going to be a little bit more subtle. And again, you can see that my cards have lines on the back of them, because like I said, these were the ones that I had. I really like index cards because they have the cardstock that is used with them is a little bit sturdier than just regular paper, so it lets you bend them and flip them a little bit easier. And you know, there are times when art is hard enough, so if there's anything that we can do to make it a little bit easier, we definitely want that. So then this next one, this is going to be the farthest point. So this is where my character has fully extended his arm out before he's going to start bringing it back. Okay, so now that we've got it all the way out, let's check that. And I'd recommend, you know, if you've done a few different frames and you want to check the movement to see how that's working, definitely go back and flip. If I had not kept them in order, that would be good. And I'm checking them against my light source. There's that one. This is why you should keep them in order, so that they flow a little bit better. There it is. Okay. Let's see how that's looking. Yeah, look at that. Nice. Alright, so just to see, make sure it's still looking all okay, I'm going to put it back in order. See how it's looking all together. And I'm actually going to clip it this time. Just to get that extra. Yay! Sorry, probably shouldn't yay my own artwork, but I'm always excited when things work. That's a little fast. Yay! Alright, so then the last bit, I'm going to have my character bring his arm back to him and then do just one more kind of little movement and then end it there. So if you become very attached to this stick figure that we have created and drawn, I will be teaching a class next Monday, probably around this same time through Facebook Live, called Happy Little Stick Figures, because I truly, truly love stick figures, and I frequently have people who come to my table and talk to me about art and are worried because they say the only thing they can draw is stick figures. And I want everybody to know that stick figures are wonderful, and I use them all the time in a lot of the art that I create, and I would be very lost without them. So I am a big proponent of stick figures, and if you would like to come and just do kind of a basic drawing class, we will be drawing humans and using the stick figure and just having some more fun and finding entertaining ways to keep art going while we are all at home. And supplies for that will be very easy. It will again be whatever drawing implement you enjoy working with, so pencils, pens, and then paper-wise, if you have sketchbooks, great. If not, no worries. You can draw on computer paper. You can draw on any scrap that you have around the house. So, no pressure drawing class. And if, like I said, if you guys do like this content and there are other things that you would like to see, please send messages to myself or to 171 and let us know what else we could be doing and offering to you guys. And if you don't like it, then that's okay. We don't need to know. I'm fine not knowing if you didn't enjoy this. But hopefully you did. I know I had fun drawing this. It's been a long time since I've gotten to animate something like this. My degree from college is actually in animation, so I was able to learn 2D fundamentals as well as 3D fundamentals and get to animate and draw more pages than I've ever drawn in my entire life, and probably take some years off of my back being hunched over. But I loved it, and I certainly enjoyed it, and obviously I am very happy that I get to use it to this day. Okay, and then this was my last frame. So let's see how that turned out. Let's see his little wave first. Yay! Alright, so let's see. Let's put it all together. Get it clipped. Well, actually, before I do that, I'm going to count. Let's see. How many did we end up with? So we got 1, 2, 10, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. So 18 frames. So if you end up, again, not wanting to spend a ton of money on supplies for this, the pack that I used had 50 in it, so you could definitely create 50 frames worth of animation for pretty low cost, which is very awesome. Alright. So I got this clip, so let's see how this looks. Yay! We got a wave. And the head didn't move too much, which is good. I'm going to keep showing it just so you guys can see it. Awesome. Okay. So just again, I will show you in comparison to the other one that I created. You will notice, again, so this is the last frame, I added a lot more detail to the character that I designed. I also added a lot more movement. So not only is the character moving in to frame and pulling the hand up to then throw, it is also blinking. It's a she. She is also blinking. Now, you can tell the difference between the clean line art of my marker drawing versus this, which was just done in pencil, which I wanted to clean up. But because I was doing a lot more, I wanted to give myself the opportunity to still sketch and have it be able to be erased before I went over it in pen. But again, beautiful thing about the note cards is if for some reason you draw on one and you don't like how it looks, you can toss it and add another one in its place. So that's a really beautiful thing about that. So there's that one again. And then let's pull back up our waving stick figure. I can't get that last little bit. See, that's why I shouldn't have said anything about my flips being good. He's very happy. Thing. So I'm going to leave this up. We've got a few more minutes. That was the basic lesson. So if anybody has any questions about what I did or about other classes or art or anything like that, I will leave it open so that the chat can go through that for about 5 more minutes, and then I will let you guys go. So I'm going to jump this back over so you can see me. Hi. But yeah, thank you, everybody who came out for this. I was crazy nervous about it, but it ended up being a lot of fun, and I'm happy that hopefully everyone had a successful animation. And if you participated in this, please make sure you post your animations. I would love to see them. Either send them to me on my page or post them on 171, because creating art together is wonderful. And again, I will mention that if you have any questions or want to know more specifics about this, or if someone that likes this stuff and missed the live stream, then please send them the video, or again, put them in contact with me, and I would love to talk more about this. Other things, like I said, I mentioned at the top, you can find me Twitter, Instagram, Twitch, which hopefully I'll be able to offer more live art through there. And all of that is able to be found with the tag A Swan Named Emily. And if you are feeling generous and you would like to send me some monetary support, I do also have a Patreon. So Patreon lets you donate money to me to help me create the artwork that I'm doing, especially right now because things are a little bit tricky and my normal gigs are kind of on pause for this. So the Patreon is also patreon.com/aswannamedemily. And if you would like it, there is some specific content that is only available to patrons and that, you know, kind of glimpses inside my sketchbook and possibly more videos and stuff like that. So if you are interested in supporting me there, I would absolutely appreciate it. And you can pop over and do that. And like I said, I think we're about done and wrapped up unless anybody else has more questions. So I'll kind of leave this open for maybe one more minute, and then if not, then I hope to see a lot of you next Monday when I'm drawing again, or I hope that you tune in to the other programs that 171 is offering, and definitely check out their website, check out their Facebook, they're on Instagram. They're much better than I am about posting about what's going on and what they're offering. So definitely do that so that we can kind of keep all of the community arts happening, even if it is a online and virtual community right now. But it lets us feel a little bit more connected, and that's a beautiful thing about art. And like I said, you know, please share your art. I would love to see it, even if you don't think it's good. It still is wonderful to create, and yeah, and this was great. So thank you again, everyone, and hopefully I'll see you again soon. Bye!